Hey, if I were to ask you to protect my property, a few things would come to mind. One is that you actually not protecting my property itself that is not the primary goal. The primary goal is to protect my family and the valuables that contain in my property. So, why is so difficult to understand that when we talk about cyber? So the first thing you would do probably is ask where the family sleeps, where the valuables are, because that's where you're going to concentrate your security mechanism. But in cyber, it seems that we fail to understand that concept. And here's why. Here it is. The cyber, when we say, let's protect our network, the first thing that we do is start scanning the environment and finding vulnerabilities and trying to protect and trying to eliminate vulnerabilities, but failing to understand what is important to the corporate objectives, the mission of that organization. There are certain things that you must do. It's just regular stuff. Like if you are in a regulated environment, as regulatory you need to do. Imagine your car. You need to pay your taxes in your car. You need to do your inspection every year. But there are stuff that is important that is not regulated. For example, why you change your oil if there's no regulation for it? Because you need to do is very important to achieve the goal of having a car. Take you from point A to point B, going to your vacations, because without the oil change, it's not going to last that long. Yet, it's not regulated, but it's very important for the life expand of your vehicle. In cyber, there are things that are very important to the corporate objective that is not mandated. Do you pay attention to those? Do you understand where they are? You need to identify assets. And that's the gist of this conversation, is on a assessment, on a cybersecurity risk assessment, you need to understand what is important to the corporate objectives, the mission, and the vision of the organization to deliver the services and products to their customers and shareholders. Understanding what those applications, those solutions are, and identifying the underlying assets that support that is the first step of a cybersecurity operational risk assessment. Understanding those assets. And that is not only the application server, the database server, but also the firewall, router, switches, and everything that supports that environment. Understanding that, having that inventory. And having that inventory is just not trusting a CMDB database, but also understanding that you need to validate that. Work with the SMEs. Identify if they have any list, any network diagram. Get that independently. Go to the CMDB database, get that independently, and cross-check them to make sure the assets are accurate for that matter. And then you have that list. And then you can start your risk assessment and follow whatever order you have. I will, the next several videos, discuss the order that I use to complete a cyber assessment in any organization of any size. So stay tuned.